Good evening. This is Maestro Cretella with the Dawn of War 2 Retribution Elite Modcast. Today we have a 2v2 on Medean Cliff Mines. Very interesting roster right here. First of all, we have Maestro Cretella as Sindri, Trollface, Chaos Sorcerer. The Chaos Sorcerer is mainly fights in melee, but he's got a lot of long-range spells, crazy stuff, mainly focuses on control, and he's really awesome. My teammate is none other than HolyHammer, the war boss of Dawn of War 2, who is actually playing as the Techmarine. The Techmarine has this big servo arm that he can use to repair and build things. He is mainly a ranged hero, can now fight in melee with one of his upgrades in the Elite mod. He has a gun for every occasion, a lot of versatility, very powerful in some ways, I think, especially with some of his support buildings. On the other side of things, first of all, we have DJ Raffa as this Eldar Warlock. The Eldar Warlock is kind of a mix of things, or you can kind of kit him out in different ways depending on how you want him. He can be a tanky melee hero, which is an extremely good way to use him. He also has a lot of control and offensive spells that can do a lot of damage and be really, really ridiculous. See a Destructor go off right there, really hurting some heretics. Finally, we have Toilailee as this Orc Kommando Nob, a sneaky Orc who right now is being anything but sneaky, just charging in on tactical marines with that twin link shooter, even trying to headbutt them. But the Kommando Nob is a sneaky Orc. He can infiltrate, he can stab people, he can use bombs, he can use a bomb on himself, he can do lots of crazy stuff. Alright, so we have a 2v2 here. I'm teaming up with HolyHammer. So this game started out, just one day I got an invite from DJ Raffa to play some Dawn of War 2, and I was a little worried about that because he's a pretty good player, so I was expecting an invite with some pretty good players, and of course I go in there and there's HolyHammer and Toilailee. And at first, we played about 2 or 3 games where it was some combination of HolyHammer and Toilailee on one team, and then the other team was some combination of me, Osinski, and DJ Raffa. And that did not go well for anyone who was not named either HolyHammer or Toilailee. So we split up the Dream Team and got some more even games out of it. Alright, now we got some heretics. I think they just dodged a grenade blast right there. And they're forcing off these dire Avengers that were trying to backcap. Doombolt's going in. Doombolt's a very powerful spell. One of the Sorcerer's long-range abilities there, I believe. He only shot 3 Doombolts because my energy was not high enough to have him shoot a second set of Doombolts. With the Sorcerer, you need to have at least 40 energy left after you cast Doombolts for it to shoot a second set of Doombolts. Now, as you can see, I'm immediately upgrading to the Sigil of the Rift, basically as a Shuriken counter. The Sigil of the Rift is a teleporting ability. It's particularly good for dealing with setup teams, since most units will usually just walk out of the Rift and then nothing will happen and you'll just waste some energy. Setup teams are obviously cannot do that quite as easily, and right there, I teleported the setup team out of there. I even switched places with my Chaos Space Marine, since the Sigil of the Rift is a 2-way teleport. Both sides function as entrance and exit. So you can teleport a unit to your Sorcerer, or you can teleport a unit away from your Sorcerer. I teleported the Chaos Space Marines away and teleported the Shuriken toward the Sorcerer. Assault Marines jumping in, but we have some infiltrated Sluggo Boys. That's going to be really bad news for these Tactical Marines. Tactical Marines right now actually very lucky not to lose a model right there. And these Assault Space Marines I think will actually do just fine against the Sluggo Boys, since the Sluggo Boys are already low on health. Now over here, we have a Shuriken weapon team that is trying to set up to shoot up my heretics. So I'm kind of playing a little game of cat and mouse, trying to capture the point and go around the different sides, see if I can get him to set up in a position where he's going to get flanked by my heretics. Now I'm bringing a second heretic squad, so I'm actually trying to pincer him. So he's setting up in here facing this way, but then I have another heretic squad going for a flank. He's trying to set up again the other way, so I'm going to go for another flank. These heretics are going to back off, while these heretics are going to come in again, try for another flank. So DJ Raffa is now moving back, and he's actually going to, right here, he is setting up in a position that will actually cover both heretics. So I actually infiltrate with both, so now he can't shoot at either one once they're fully infiltrated. And I use some Sigil of the Rift from my Sorcerer over there. Some pretty creative play by me. I enjoyed it. Sluggas getting focused down a little bit too much on approach. Sluggas are generally considered not very good in Tier 1, in part because some point-blank stick bombs ultimately doing nothing from Toilailee. But those Sluggas, they often get focused down a bit on approach. I think that will be especially true against the Techmarine right here, since between the Techmarine, the Scouts, and the Tactical Marines, that's a lot of early range DPS coming out of the Space Marines. There is, of course, a ton of early range DPS coming out of Toilailee as well, with double big shooters as well as that Kommando Nob. The Kommando Nob has fantastic starting range DPS. I think he may have the best starting range DPS of any commander, and he has 100% fire on the move. Oh, the Shuriken weapon team, unfortunately, DJ Raffa, I think, just a little overextended, maybe lost track of that Shuriken weapon team, and he says, "Fuck sauce." So that's not so great for him. Now we have some Dire Avengers behind some energy shields. These energy shields are definitely one of the great assets that Eldar has, and it's also one of the things that I think separates people who really main Eldar and who really know the race from people who just try to play it and either fail or they're still good at it, but they don't make full use of the energy shields just because they don't really main Eldar. Now this is risky business. Non-aspiring champion heretics jumping in here because there are going to be a grenade thrown, 2 grenades thrown, and I think I just really got lucky there that most of my heretics were not sitting right on top of that grenade. Usually the heretic formation is very bunched up, but there I got a little lucky. DJ Raffa is not going to get so lucky. One Dire Avenger just flies from that Chaos Heretic explosion, and then HolyHammerx here with a double. One of the things I noticed from playing with HolyHammer in this session is that he likes to double people. Not that I have anything wrong with it, or not that I see anything wrong with it, but I'm just saying. Sorcerer right now upgraded to Vestments of the Warp and the Sword of Flame, so a fully kitted out Sorcerer. This is a build that will be or a War Gear build that will be extremely good for countering setup teams. DJ Raffa did have 2 of them. One of them is taken out, has been taken out. But basically you just get multiple setup team counters out of just one unit. You can use the Sigil of the Rift on one setup team, and then you can use the teleport on another after you deal with the first one with Sigil of the Rift. So HolyHammer just kind of running around here. Ooh, Heretics getting absolutely slaughtered. And then over there, I think he wanted to try to use that to finish off the Heretics. Takes a few more shots. Probably going to get... No, I thought he might get one more model there. I don't know why I'm leading in with Heretics. Eventually they're going to have to go. And now I'm on the field only with my Chaos Sorcerer. And I think HolyHammer might get a little overwhelmed at this point. So he is smartly backing off. HolyHammer, obviously, arguably the best player, the best Dawn of War 2 player around still. There was definitely a point where he was definitely the best Dawn of War 2 player. Then he was inactive for a while, but I mean, recently he won a tournament. And really just making it look like he was still just the best player. We have another Sigil of the Rift teleport to get that setup team out of position. One of the reasons Sigil of the Rift is good for using as a setup team counter is that you're pulling their setup team away from their army instead of sending your jump unit into their army. And sometimes there's a lot of risk of teleporting or jumping in when you might be jumping into a trap. Either there's a second team set up behind them, which is very common with Eldar, or there is a melee squad such as Howling Banshees bodyguarding them, which is, again, also very common with Eldar. Neither is actually happening in this case, but, I mean, that's just part of what can happen. Chaos Space Marines already upgraded to the Mark of Tzeentch, but they do need to get way the hell out of these Slugga Boys. Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, extremely good unit, but they should not tangle with Slugga Boys in melee once they have their Shoot a Nob. This should be an easy commando wipe right here, and Sindri does the honors. Sindri also starts capping. And the Warlock now has that Jedi build. The Merciless Switchblade, the Champion's Robe, and the Heart of Darkness. This is an extremely good build. And it's one of the things that makes the Warlock so good, to be honest. that Champion's Robe is an energy shield. The Heart of Darkness restores his energy, so it synergizes very well. It's basically a self-heal and a self-energy restore. And the Warlock can be extremely tanky with that. I'd say, in terms of just like sheer tanky power, he's probably at least on par with heroes like the Force Commander and the Chaos Lord when he has that extra healing ability. Alright, so we have double Dreadnoughts from the blue team, my team. And we also have the Falcon right here. Now what I'm doing is I'm upgrading to the Mark of Tzeentch missile launcher on the Chaos Dreadnought. I want to do it under infiltration so that it's a surprise once I actually first use it. I'm also getting a Havoc squad, a tier 2 Havoc. So now, one of the things that's tough about this map, I think, is that it can be hard to get into this middle area when your opponent is already occupying it, because their army is together, but the entrances are separate. Alright, Mark of Tzeentch missile launcher goes off, starting to take shots at that Falcon. The Mark of Tzeentch missile launcher does a huge amount of damage, so the Falcon's already almost dead, and I think with just a few more missile shots, should be able to get out of there, but the Falcon backs off. We have some exploding heretics right here. And these heretics really cannot deal with the Warlock. If they try to fight the Warlock, they will just bleed horrendously, feed the Warlock a ton of levels. The most they can do is just Doom Blast to stall him out. But not only do we have double Dreadnoughts from the blue team, we also have double ranged Dreadnoughts. And ranged Dreadnoughts can be pretty powerful. A lot of damage coming out of both of these units, the Chaos Dreadnought and the Assault Cannon Space Marine Dreadnought. One of the other great things is that you have abilities, area of effect abilities on both of them. That Assault Cannon Barrage that we just saw right there does fantastic area of effect damage. The Frenzied Barrage from the Mark of Tzeentch missile launcher is more of a control ability. It suppresses, but that's still extremely good, and it actually can do damage. It actually has done, I think its damage has been increased in the Elite mod to make it a little better, but it still has sort of a random spread. So you might just end up missing the damage entirely. The suppression works very reliably, but the damage not so much. Now we're going for a Gen Bash over here. DJ Raffa's Warlock is, as good as he is, really can't afford to approach all of these units by himself. Heretic's mainly being used as repair right now. I'm already going to Tier 3. DJ Raffa's going to Tier 3. HolyHammer is already in Tier 3, and so is Toilailee. So I think since we've done a little bit of a generator bash, they're trying to return the favor over here, and they will definitely take out both the generator and the node right here. So Falcon out from DJ Raffa. He's only in Tier 2, so that Falcon is not super tanky right now. He's got to be very careful with it. It's an Eldar transport. It's considered a very good transport in many ways. It does AV damage. Many of the transports do not do AV damage. And, ooh, now we have a battle wagon going after some heretics. Also some zap on the heretics. One heretic squad goes down. The non-aspiring champion heretic goes down. And we do have this battle wagon out right here. An extremely good unit in my opinion. Also in Toilailee's opinion. He's the one who bought it. He says it's the best unit in the game. Certainly some people disagree. What's really good about it is its speed. It's very fast. If you think about units, it's actually faster than the Falcon, despite having about 5 times as many hit points. And of course, does cost a lot more. Sorcerer teleports out of there, a little exposed. I do have a Las Cannon Havoc. I got that. I think I got that sort of as, well, I did get it as an AP answer. The battle wagon is now in a very bad position, getting path blocked by the Falcon. Starting to take missile shots. Toilailee also calls in some commandos, but they are fighting against these Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines, and Mark of Tzeentch Chaos Space Marines pretty much win just about every ranged battle in the game. They win head-to-head. They will win just about anything because they are that good. Both their ranged DPS as well as the fact that they have heavy armor means they resist most piercing weapon damage. They might lose to Dark Reapers, but I'm not sure, although the Dark Reapers are much squishier and will die much more easily. Wraith Lord right here, just destroying this power farm. Wraithlord short-range artillery unit for Eldar. Short-range artillery makes no sense, but their attack looks very similar to the D-cannon attack, so I think that's why it's kind of considered artillery. But just a very short-range, powerful unit. Huge burst damage. You can easily lose units if you are not careful against Wraithguard. You basically do not want to let them hit anything. And the main way to deal with them is with melee units, especially jump melee units. Seer Council now out for DJ Raffa. This is an elite tier 3 melee unit. It's actually pretty good as a way if you need to replace Banshees or if you never actually got Banshees. It may just be better off to just get Seer Council. They are very similar, just in that they are an infantry melee squad, extremely powerful, huge power melee damage and retreat killing abilities. But they're just tougher than Banshees, so they're overall better. Of course, they do cost a lot more as well. Predator now out for HolyHammer. He has gone for very much a vehicle play. Predator out for me as well. Las Cannon on this Predator, fully upgraded Predator. Obviously, a Las Cannon Predator is really just one of the best sources of anti-vehicle you can get in the game, both because of the huge damage it does, as well as the mobility of the Predator, making it a great chasing unit. The mobility and speed. We have Commandos throwing a smoke bomb. I guess they want to use that as cover for capturing. So Toilailee now going for Nobs on top of his Battle Wagon and Commando. Fortunately, I think his Battle Wagon hasn't done quite that much yet. And a Las Cannon on this Predator as well. Now, of course, the Chaos Predator, a Las Cannon Chaos Predator is mostly identical to a Las Cannon Space Marine Predator. However, it cannot get that extra armor upgrade, so the Space Marine Predator is definitely better in that respect. Looks like HolyHammer is reviving me here. What a nice guy. And my Chaos Space Marine is getting absolutely slaughtered by the combination of this Seer Council as well as the Wraithguard. Over here, looks like the Battle Wagon is chasing things down again. DJ Raffa actually committing a lot to this side. And the Space Marine Predator is actually going to do very well overall. Just doing damage to that Battle Wagon. Here, we have some engagements between the Wraithguard and the Seer Council. Unfortunately, I derped there. Pretty much a noob mistake to just leave my Predator there and not micro it and just let it get hit by that Wraithguard. Now we have the Battle Wagons come up. Battle Wagons at less than half health, though, so not a very good position, I think. Especially now, it's going to get hit. Melt a bomb on the Battle Wagon. It's going into a Las Cannon arc, so it's in a lot of trouble right now. HolyHammer is force meleeing it with the Battle Wagon. He may just lose his Battle Wagon right here. Not a good position at all. The Chaos Dreadnought is also chasing, and one punch actually from the Space Marine Dreadnought actually finishes it off. So Battle Wagon down for Toilailee, and Nobs down to one model. So right now, not going terribly well for DJ Raffa. Oh, and the Weird Boy goes down as well. I think just getting force meleeed by that Dreadnought knocks over most of those guys. And those Slugger Boys nearly dead as well. Yes, that last Slugger will... Oh, and he explodes right there. Toilailee lost a lot of things. He just lost 3 units right there. A Battle Wagon, a Slugger Boy squad. Unfortunately, let's see. We have some backcapping Warlocks. Now, the Warlock is... He can actually be an extremely good unit for backcapping because most of these units just can't deal with him. I mean, I'm trying to capture anyway because I just want to get the cap. But it's actually very tough with this Warlock here being extremely oppressive, absolutely murdering my units. HolyHammer also being extremely oppressive with his double vehicle play. Vehicle heavy play can be very good, but it can also be very difficult to manage for many units and races, depending on what kind of repair support you have available. It's one of the great things about the Techmarine. You have your commander as a repair unit, in addition to scouts. This is really bad for the Space Marine Predator. That's got to be a dead Space Marine Predator. No way is it going to get out of there. It's got only 21 health, but it can't get out of there. And now they're chasing after the Dreadnought too. Oh, no, the Techmarine goes down, so some losses. Definitely some losses for HolyHammer right now. Even losing some Assault Space Marine models, and he's just trying to get that Dreadnought out of there. Cut his losses. Make sure things aren't too bad for him. So, Toilailee definitely has some huge losses, but at least he's inflicted some losses as well. Scout's also in trouble. These Nobs doing some pretty good work, though, for Toilailee. We have a Commando squad here, walking right in front of a Chaos Dreadnought. Not really a good choice. Not with Commandos about to, or Heretics are about to Doom Blast. Sindri has been upgraded with the Tome of Subjugation. He's going for a revive on the Techmarine. Alright, and now we have a Subjugation, followed by an Imperial Abyss, and HolyHammer did not quite see it. Did not quite see it, and that's a full wipe on the Nobs with the Tome of Subjugation into Imperial Abyss, and HolyHammer is amused, which makes me very happy. Certainly, playing as his teammate, I was worried that I might be on the receiving end of some of his rage, so I'm glad that I amused him a bit. He probably, and that probably just will add to his list of, or just his perception of everything else being overpowered except for orcs. And most of my units down here are getting murdered, trying to capture points. I apparently lost my heavy weapon team. And Toilailee also saying that he lost fully upgraded Nobs to Subjugate and that nuke. We have an Eldritch Storm or a Singularity. I think a Singularity. Assault Space Marines go into the Singularity. One gets gibbed. And that's going to be the end of that Falcon from the Chaos Dreadnought. Now, I now have Bloodletters out on the field. I don't even know why I got those. But obviously, the blue team, us, have been doing very well for most of the game. We've been winning for most of the game, but we see that DJ, Raffa, and Toilailee are now starting to even things out. A lot of that has to do with the strength of this goddamn Warlock. Now level 7, I've been feeding him a lot of levels, mainly because most of my units individually just cannot deal with him. And I'm just kind of throwing everything I have at it. What I really need is my Chaos Dreadnought, since that's basically the only thing that can actually deal with that Warlock. Where did Sindri go? Sindri went to tie up the Commandos. And the Chaos Space Marines can focus down the Warlock a lot, but not if he already has them tied up. And now we have the so DJ, Raffa, and Toilailee now really committing a lot to this side to really hold this point. Now, we've had the middle for most of the game. They've obviously had their natural for most of the game. It's mainly my natural that I haven't been able to hold, a lot thanks to that Warlock. He's also got a webway gate here, and they're really keeping themselves in this game with that. HolyHammer has a Techmarine who does not have much, but he does have the plasma gun. I'm guessing he got that primarily as a response to Nobs. That plasma gun is incredibly powerful against heavy armor. Right now, he doesn't really have any heavy armor to use it against, aside from maybe the Wraith Guard. But still just a really, really great purchase against any heavy armor or super heavy infantry unit. Not so much against regular infantry armor. May actually want to consider switching. Maybe a Melt-A-Gun to deal with his looted tank, or a Mastercrafted Vulture to deal with everything else. So we do finally get this VP back, but as a result, we lost the middle VP. And a new Chaos Predator out for me. Terminator's out for HolyHammer, upgraded with the Assault Cannon. That Assault Cannon basically giving it a net increase of about another 30 DPS or so on top of 100. These could be dead commandos. We need some force melee. I think a little bit of a miscue. But Predator's now out. That Chaos Predator should more or less beat the looted tank. It does have more health. It also does more damage. And especially if I get another Mark of Tzeentch on this one. Bloodletter's a little overextended right now. Luckily, don't lose a model, but you don't want to lose Bloodletter models too much. Tactile Marine staying in only at about 40% health, but they do have They Shall Know No Fear active. Still need to be careful about Seer Council. And a grenade throws in nowhere. Chaos Predator should be targeting this looted tank. I hate them. Oh, unfortunately, there are Wraith Guard here again. I start moving away this time. I do actually manage to micro it out of there a little bit. I got Sindri teleporting in. And a lot of units are here right now. But HolyHammer's jumping in, and the disruption from that is really going to give us the advantage right here. D-Cannon in a lot of trouble. D-Cannon going to get wiped. D-Cannon does get wiped. Major losses for DJ Raffa this time. And now with a Melt-A-Bomb on that looted tank, that has to be a dead looted tank. As long as there's any kind of AV. There's not any real AV here, but there are a lot of just damage going in, doing a little bit of damage. I don't even know what's... Wow, well, it goes down. I guess the Techmarine probably was responsible a little bit in part. I lost my Predator again, so I'd wasted 2 Predators. A huge amount of resources to lose. Oh, and unfortunately, I was going to get a kill on that Warlock, and I got disrupted by HolyHammer's Assault Cannon Barrage. And we have a little Dire Avenger here, just kind of cowering in fear, and nobody sees him. But it is a double cap for the blue team again, finally. The red team has evened out the VPs a lot, but they are really, really hurting. Toilailee now with only double commandos. That's all he got. That's all he has. There's definitely some versatility with these commandos. Both that they have very high range DPS against infantry, and then with their knobs, they actually have a source of AV. One of them lost their knob, though. So that will need to be repurchased if he wants that AV again. This Dreadnought has been alive the whole game. Level 3 Assault Cannon Dreadnought. Now, I'd say that Assault Cannon Dreadnought does... Oh! Look at this. This is HolyHammer. HolyHammer just doing what he does. Using 500 red on an orbital bombardment to kill 1 Dire Avenger. Oh, man. I love that guy. Chaos Terminator's now out for me. We have the ranged variety so far, but an Eldritch Storm, and we're all just standing right there. Oh, no. So, I lose a Heretic squad. Nothing else actually dies. Unfortunately, we all just kind of were like deer in the headlights right there, just kind of standing and looking at it. Another subjugate on... I think I subjugated the wrong commandos. I should have subjugated the one that was capping. And I used an ability on the commandos, but ultimately not a great subjugate. So I am currently without a Heretic squad. That means I have no repair support for my level 4 Chaos Dreadnought. That's also, I guess, my Chaos Dreadnought has been doing very well. The Dreadnoughts, obviously, their strengths are their durability, also their damage, but one of their strengths is definitely not mobility. So they're often in a lot of trouble. And vehicles usually mobility is usually very important for keeping them alive. So it can be tough to keep a Dreadnought alive. And I think that part of the main way you do it is just by, well, in part by being conservative with them. And it's easier to be conservative with a ranged Dreadnought than with a melee Dreadnought. Avatar in here, it is hitting my Chaos Dreadnought. The Chaos Dreadnought cannot just stay and fight that, because it will not win that fight. We have Commandos again going for the cap here, being really annoying. A Wailing Doom, but now we have an overextended Chaos Dreadnought. Or rather, we have an overextended Avatar. I think this could be the end of the Avatar. Yeah, that's it. Wow, look at how much health it lost just in those last few seconds or whatever. Unfortunately, I lost my Heretic squad. I mean, I lost my Bloodletter squad. I have new Heretics, and I have some subjugated commandos about to walk into an entire enemy force. They retreat out of there. They will be just fine, hopefully. But there were a lot of times when I thought this game was already over. I thought this game was already over, but DJ Raffa being extremely, extremely persistent, really just with these webway gates. Toilailee also being very persistent with his commandos right here. Just going for the cap on this point. And we're getting the cap back, but we're doing that in part because we're committing our whole force over here. So that means the red team has actually gotten this middle VP again, where they've decapped it. But we do have a lot of leveled squads. I'm going for lightning claws on my chaos terminators. I don't do that very often. I'm surprised that I'm doing that. I don't remember doing it. I also have level 4 Tzeentch chaos space marines, level 7 chaos sorcerer, level 10 Techmarine. Oh my god. How did that Techmarine get to level 10? Maybe it had something to do with killing an avatar. I wouldn't be surprised if he get dealt the killing blow with that plasma gun. Level 3 scouts, level 4 ASM, and level 4 tactical marines. The chaos terminators teleport in there. Gonna do a ton of damage. And I'm just going for a decap under fire. And the Mark of Tzeentch chaos space marines actually get knocked off and I retreat them. The chaos terminators are here capping, but they're taking too much damage and I think they need to get out of there because I don't want to lose chaos terminators. 2 terminator models go down. Alright, now we just need to get back on the cap. And I think that would be the game for us. Unless, of course, DJ Raffa is being a persistent little son of a gun. I'm going to get my natural VP again. With that Warlock that I can't force off. And I have my lone Chaos Terminator, or he thinks he's a Havoc. With those lightning claws. DJ Raffa says ninja mid. I don't think that's going to happen right now. Or maybe he means this ninja flanked from the commandos. So right now the knobs are up on those commandos. So they can do some AV damage, but these dreadnoughts have been alive the whole game. Teleporters are active. They're going to force melee. And the commandos just get out of there. With that Signum armor, mark target. They would die very, very quickly. And I'm just going for a Gen Bash now. DJ Raffa, unfortunately, has lost just about everything now. The only thing that is left are his Warlock and these Wraithguard. I don't see how they can stay alive much longer. And I actually went for a decap on their natural VP, in part getting that idea from DJ Raffa constantly decapping my natural VP. And that actually gets us a single cap game, and I think that will finally be the game for us. Decided to return the favor. DJ Raffa kept on harassing my VP with decaps and caps, so this time I did it to him with my Sorcerer, and that is the end of the game. Hope you enjoyed the cast. Have a good night.